So body intuitive is that, it started off first with just what I discovered with my own body. Again, I went through a process of healing my own body. I went to physiotherapists and I got treatment, but I was told I wouldn't be able to raise my hand over my shoulder and my arm would never be the same. And I actually evolved to the point where I was able to do handstands. I couldn't even do handstands even before I got in a car accident. So I ended up getting to a point where I really mastered my body and discovered things on a deeper level that I couldn't um, achieve or accomplish with even going to rehab and trying to physically rehabilitate my body. And in doing that, I started to experience things that they're quite personal, and but I could share is that I just started to experience visions and I started to experience, I would see colors, but I started to experience visions of the body. And in university, for the degree that I was in, part of our degree was to take a course where we worked with cadavers. So I have a deep understanding of what's kind of going on inside the body as well, because I got to study off of cadavers. And it was my program was quite extensive with anatomy. So visually, I understand the body as well. Then I had to go and work with my body and heal it. And I started to connect with visions and started to see patterns. And in these patterns, I started to discover and connect them to emotional energies. And as I discovered that for myself to help release the emotions that I had within me, I started to see things when I worked with my clients in their bodies through the physical training. And I started to see the body not just as a physical body, but this vehicle that was carrying stories and life experiences. I could actually see how they were holding themselves and what their body was telling me. And by using what I knew about the body and what I knew about personal, strength training and what I saw with my visions, I started to help restore my clients and help them to feel more of a sense of alignment by helping to, or by basically using what I was seeing and experiencing with the body and just intuitively working with the body to help allow them to experience this release, this emotional release. And my clients started to notice a difference in what they were feeling, I just started to get a lot of referrals. And then I had like this big wait list. I was working at Good Life, and then I literally had to start my own company, and it all happened so quickly. But I really started to have like a claim for fame of like a body whisperer, this, someone who performs spiritual surgery. Like I started to adopt all these nicknames. But really it was almost like I could see the body, and I would describe it like someone who's obsessed with cars, like a mechanic who can tear down a car right down to like the,
Nuts and
single
bolts.
pieces and reassemble a car. Like I just became so obsessed with the body, or someone who's obsessed with building homes. They can start from scratch and build a whole home. I was able to tear down a body and rebuild it in a way that had an impact on someone's awakening process, if you will. And it was all in what I discovered in when I started to connect with my own body, and I started to put my mind and my body to start to feel my body again, because I was numb to parts. And it was actually shortly after, like 5 or 6 years after this experience, where something came out from a Dr. Joe Dispenza.
I love
And
that guy. Just
and
got into him recently.
as a chiropractor, he went and got an accident. He put his mind in his vertebrae, and as he put his mind in his vertebrae, things started to happen. He started to shift. And I was like, oh my God, that's what happened to me. Totally. And so what happened is that I couldn't even move. I was in pain. I literally just started putting my mind in my body and seeing the anatomy and just focusing on really connecting the mind and the body. And then it started to become more about movement. Then I started to see things. So it did something to my mind that really awakened me. So I only just really applied this to a more mindful approach of training with my clients, and it started to do the same thing to them. And then through their awakening, they would share kind of their process, and that's kind of where I was able to create my methodologies that I now can give to people as like a step by step. It's like, connect to your mind and body. It's going to awaken you, and then steps to self-love and how to love what comes up. Connect your mind body. Here are your steps. Connect your mind body. And essentially you go on this journey where you heal yourself through the love that you give throughout that process to yourself. So you become the product of the love you give to yourself.